All right, boys and girls, how y'all doing? Rob Provencher, co-founder of NoBS Photo Success. I'm going solo today. James is out of town. He has actually gone to a convention, a mining convention, which is big industry, and some of you may or may not know it, but James Hodgins, who's also the co-founder of NoBS Photo Success, and normally he's standing right here beside me, but he had to go to this convention because his specialty is mining and industrial photography. You know, he likes to shoot weddings and babies and families, but he really likes to focus on the mining and industrial side of things. That's not an area I prefer because it's not my thing. I've been underground 10,000 feet before. It's not a pretty picture. Not a place I want to go back to, but James loves it, and he does a kick-butt job. I mean, he's all certified to go underground. He's got all the gear. He's got all the right techniques. He goes under there, and he just totally crushes it. So anyways, last month we were having a discussion at our local mastermind meeting, of which James is also a part of. And the discussion from another member came about this particular mining show. So what James decided was, hey, why don't I go down there and make connections and kind of talk to people. You know, that's a really important thing to do. In my city, I don't do it so much, but I used to do this a lot, especially when I was growing my business. Get out to the Chamber of Commerce meetings and Toastmasters meetings and any meeting where I love getting out with people and just, you know, connecting and talking and having fun, and that's really a very important strategy. Oh yeah, Rotary, I was in Rotary for many years, made many connections. So that's what James is doing. So we're going to check in with James right now. He sent me this video for you to watch.
Hey Rob, that's right, I'm not with you. I'm actually at the PDAC, Mining and Developers and Prospectors Convention in Toronto. So I'm here to, you know, schmooze, kiss ass, network, you know, just like our photography conventions. These guys here have got, you know, groups from all over the world. You know, it's pretty big. There's loads of people here. And so yeah, so I'm just walking around. I got some cards to hand out, gonna talk to some people. I'm at the Atlas Copco booth right here. You can see some of my images there. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. So sorry I couldn't be there, but you know, got to drum up some business to support my fishing habit. So see you when I get back. Stay tuned.
So there you go. So anyways, what I want to talk to you about today, you ever heard of the marketing statement, unique selling proposition, or USP? Okay, sometimes that statement is thrown about like it's some mystical, magical sort of marketing strategy that's brewed up, you know, only certain people understand it. Really, it's a very simple concept. All it is look at the industry, look at what everybody's saying, and you may or may not say the same thing. Typically we are. And what we got to do is you got to say it. If it is the same thing, it doesn't matter. You got to find a unique way to say it. At the pizza company, your pizza delivered in 30 minutes or free is a unique selling proposition. What's the name of that company? It'll come to me later. But Domino's. That's a unique selling proposition. They never say anything about how good the pizza was, if it was a special recipe from Italy, yada. So you can create a unique selling proposition for your photography by packaging, creating programs like the Baby's First Year wall panel, by creating a certain special of the month, like the 20-minute white sale, or the fairy day, or a rockstar day, etc., etc. And of course, for wedding photography, a lot of it has to do with your style and your presence and the experience that you bring when you're photographing and capturing the wedding day. So anyways, I don't want to talk about unique selling proposition, although I did, didn't I? Sorry, I had to go there, didn't I? I want to talk about unique lighting proposition. So I'm going to talk about lighting. And I'm going to talk about specifically the Alien B, or the Pulsey Buff ABR 800 ring light. Now I believe in a previous episode we talked about this. Or maybe not. I could be imagining things. I do that quite a bit. Anyways, this is not my light, but I had and have had every intention of picking one up. Why? Because I wanted to play with this and come up with different lighting propositions and actually bring one on a wedding or even for some children's shoots, or obviously it would work well for seniors, high school seniors, or an individual, or even for couples. So it's just one extra tool in the toolbox that I wanted to be able to expand upon. So I borrowed this as I was talking to my friend Angie, and she said, oh, I have one of those, and she has everything. She's got all the toys in the world. And she said she used it once and she never got around to it again, and she offered to lend it to me. So I guess I got to bring it back to her sometime soon, which I will. But I was grateful that she lent it to me, because now I get to at least try it, experiment, before I actually go out and buy one. And which I'll probably do anyways, because I really had my heart set on getting one. But anyways, that's why I wanted to get one of these. Now, I've got a homemade jobber. You may have seen it or heard about it before. I'm going to show you that in a minute, and I brought it along. But I want to talk a little bit about this particular unit. You know what? I'm going to plug it in. Just give me a second. Hold on. We have power. And I'm back. All right. Yes, we have power. See, check it out. Hey, it's got a modeling light. All right, so here's what I discovered with this little sucker. It came with this. Now, I could be doing this all wrong, and I'll admit, and I've been known to screw these things up. Sometimes I just don't get it. I'm just not that technical. There's this sliding base plate which goes on top of this unit here, see? Bing! And the camera sits on here via a little screw that goes on the base of the camera. So the idea is this with the camera on it slides into here, and you'll see that there's a baby crying. There's a thing here to put a stand in, which I couldn't imagine using that with a stand, because it's really quite portable. And if I did bring it, I will bring it on a wedding. I want to have it set up so that I don't have to fiddle with it. It's ready. I can just grab it from the back seat of my car with the Pulsey Buff Vagabond Mini, which is a power source, which we talked about in a previous episode. It's an amazing, amazing power source. But that was a plan. So anyways, very, very bad design. It's just like, either that or I'm just not getting it. It's just this whole design, and this thing here. Let me just show you how it works here. So this thing here, which is designed to go into a stand, it kind of slips in here, and then of course the camera, it locks into place. The camera would be here, and that's the idea. But it's just a real clumsy design. I find it is, anyways. So, I mean, one of the things I really don't like about it is the base plate that goes onto the camera. This here, and this screw. You got to kind of it's really awkward. So, I'm looking at it one day, just a few days ago. I'm looking at this unit. I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, this slides onto the back of the light. What if we flipped it upside down? Would this still slide? Let's try it out. All right, pick up the unit. Okay, it's not meant to go this way. It's upside down. Oh yeah, it'll still slide. So we can lock it into place. Now we got to get a way to hold the camera into where the stand normally goes, and we got this handle thing that locks it into place, right? And this little screw thing here that locks the stand into place. But I went in my collection of goodies, and I got one of these little brass things, and I believe it's a 1/4 inch. Also, this one's got a 1/2 inch, I think. I'm not sure. The 1/4 inch, it's whatever size is on the base of the camera. I got a ton of these because they do a lot of off-camera flash, and I got all these different configurations for holding the SB800s. And so I grabbed this short one. Now the reason I wanted the short one, because they do come in double length, is so that it goes flush. I don't know if you can see that, right? So I wanted to go flush. Let me just show you why. I happen to bring my camera. I got the D7000. Now this configuration seems to really only work with a lens about this size, which is a 24-70. I've tried it with a 50. 7200 is way too big, but it kind of works with this, which is okay. So I'm going to screw this in the bottom. Okay, so I've got that little brass spiggity thing, whatever we call it. Let's call it a spiggity thing for now. I'm going to slip it into where the pole would normally go in the other position, right? So I got it all kind of sitting here nicely. All I got to do, you can't see this, but I'm going to tighten where normally the stand would go, and I currently have the camera in its place. Everything's lock and load. So there we go. So there we have it. Not the way it was meant to be, but it works. I mean, hey, it works, right? So I'm going to turn it on. Now this has got a sync cord, or it's got a built-in optical slave, like all the Alien Bee stuff has. So I'm just going to tighten this a little bit. There we go. So what I did was I put an SB800. I'm going to take this. I've got the diffuser on it. Okay, I've turned it on to low power manual at the lowest setting, 1/128th of power setting. So it's just a very low source of power, the absolute lowest that this flash will emit. And it is sending enough flash so that when I take a picture, it fires the ring flash. Okay. Now the one problem I found with this ring flash is it's pretty strong. So I've had to turn the power way down, which may or may not create some consistency problems, because I find when you turn the power down, the output kind of fluctuates a bit. So there might be a little bit of a consistency problem there. So we'll soon see. I haven't even tested it yet. Well, I did do a few tests with my wife. I asked her to come in the studio last week, and I turned the power way down, and she thought it was like, wow, my God, I'm going blind. And you know, I was playing with it earlier today, and I was looking at it and thinking, it's not that bright. She has a tendency to exaggerate. So that's what I got, and you know, that's just a cool system, and that's how I figured out. I mean, I wanted to share that with you. That's how I figured out how to get the camera on there so that it wasn't so darn cumbersome the way I had this base plate. So I probably will not need that base plate. And if I'm at a wedding, or I actually, you know, if I want to try it at the studio, it won't take long to set up. But if I'm at a wedding, I can have it ready in the backseat of the car. You know, have everything in place. All I need to do is load up the camera. You know, put this little brass screw in the back, slap it into place. 30 seconds, I'm good to go. So I don't want to spend a lot of time wasting time when I'm on a wedding. So again, no, the goal here is to be able to create some unique lighting situations, or as I like to call it, excuse me, hold on. Wow, taste the gin in there. Unique lighting proposition. All right, so just another toolbox. It's kind of funny. I was talking to my daughter earlier today. Excuse me, she's 16 and a half. And she's never really expressed a lot of interest in photography, but lately she has been. Primarily because we got a call for us to do pictures inside a store, La Senza in the mall. There's a new store in town, and the head office needs a professional to go in, do these shots, and they have a shot list. And we have to submit, and just so that they know everything was done properly. But they only have a budget of $150. So my wife said, no, I mean, we charge minimal $500 or $600 for a half-day commercial. He said, but we can send our daughter. And they were like all for it. Unfortunately, my daughter was on a ski trip, so she couldn't go. She was really bummed out about it. And that got her thinking, $150, La Senza. wow, it would have taken her an hour, 2 at the most. And I would have lent her my equipment, you know, charge her and collect on it later on when she's got a real job. No, I would have been, you know, I'm her dad, right? So that got her thinking, and she's been bringing it up every now and again. She was actually kind of bummed that she missed that opportunity. So I said to her, I said, you know, look, more will come down the road, and I can help you. I want to help her. And I said, I'll show you some lighting stuff, and you can learn some techniques. And I told her, I said, you know, if you, and she asked me, I said, what do you tell anybody who asks you that wants to learn photography? And I say, well, get a business education. Because photography you can learn. I mean, it's out there. And practice, practice, practice. It's like playing a guitar. You don't necessarily need to get a certificate, do you? You know, Bon Jovi doesn't have a certificate for music, you know, or does he? I don't know. He doesn't post it on stage. Nor does Bono or anybody else for that matter. You can get good on your own in photography. But my point was, you can learn these things. I can help you, and you can master your own style. You develop your own technique. And I told her, I said, me personally, it's almost like I got too many tools in the toolbox. I kind of got all these strategies, and I'm all over the map on them, so that I've always been curious, and I've always been driven, and to try and pick up as many as I can, which is not always a good thing. Or is it? I don't know. It's just something to think about. Because when you get to a situation, which do you use? You got to really hone that skill down. You got to develop the ability to decipher and use discretion as to which one will be the best tool for the job. So, a couple more things, and then I'm out of here. Hold on, I'll be right back. I tend to get off topic, don't I, when James isn't around? I've talked about this before. This is my homemade, much cheaper. This Alien Bee one I think cost, or the, I think it's an Alien Bee, ABR, well, ABR, Alien Bee ring, obviously. Pulsey buff lights, probably $400, I'm guessing. This one here can $40-50. So I went to Home Depot. This had a plastic dome on it, and I saw it there, and it was some kitchen light or something for under a counter or something. And all I had, see, it mounts onto a ceiling, and there's supposed to be a dome here, but all I had envisioned was a ring light. So I took the dome off and took this unit and just kind of screwed it on there. And I cut a hole with the tin snips, and it's fluorescent. So, and I just mounted on a stand with a clamp. I just use a clamp. And I have a horizontal stand on top of a regular stand. It's very light, so. And then obviously I just put the camera through there. I wouldn't bring it with me on a wedding or anything like that, but it's an experimental thing. I created this a couple years ago. It works really well, so. But for convenience, I'm looking at getting the Pulsey buff. All right, so as I grabbed this stuff to bring with me tonight, I grabbed one of our studio bags, and that's what I want to close off with, is show you, give it a bit of a marketing tactic here. We have these custom-made bags. See, it's got our studio logo in there. And we've got a drawer full of them, so clients get to take their prints home in these bags, and you can get these different sizes. And they're really, really nice. So they make an impression when the client comes in. So you're probably asking, where'd you get it, Rob? I don't know. My wife buys it. But I had a look inside, and I saw the website, so here it is. Visit us, or view us at Debco, D-E-B, her name's probably Debbie, Debco. She has a company, and she makes bags. So it's debcobag.com, made in China. So that's D-E-B-C-O-B-A-G, Debco Bag. All right, check it out. Just something to think about. We also use nice little black boxes for prints too, when we got smaller orders. So presentation really enhances the experience. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you next week. There'll be 2 of us back to our usual regiment. Both James and I, live on NoBsTeeVee. Take care.